I've been like on this like kind of punk rock kind of edge recently. Not punk rock, but like this. I've been listening to a lot of music that's quick and to the point with like lots of like aggressive guitars, and that's what prompted me to want to listen to Eagles of Death Metal last time we were listening.
Yeah.
So I feel like grabbing something else that's in that kind of vein a little bit, but a little different. So there's a song in here that jumped at me earlier. Ty Segall. Damn, we listened to it before, but I almost want to do it because I know part of it's because I like Ty Segall, because I know that you were like, that's all right. I don't know if I'd listen to any more of that, but I see why you like it. And it made me immediately want to show you like 10 more Ty Segall songs.
Of course,
I know you probably, because you're going to hear one and be like, oh, if there's more of that around, I definitely want to dig. But there's also this other band I'm looking at here called Sugar Horse, and their song Waterloo Teeth, which I kind of feel like playing too. It's much more unknown than Ty Segall. But hell, let's go with Sugar Horse. So let's go with the artist Sugar Horse off their album Waterloo Teeth, and the song's called Waterloo Teeth. Now, I don't know much about Sugar Horse. They're one of the bands off of Art is Catharsis, right? So I never heard of them before we started doing this podcast, and I went digging through the Art of Catharsis artist because of their willingness to work with us as as a podcast and give us free reign to play anything that they produce. And so much so now that the guy that runs the label, who is actually also the guitar player for Hissashin, Lachlan is his name, he's been sending me now pre-releases of the album. So I have, of the new Hissashin album, I have the Flak Wave. I think I sent you a link to it as well. I sent it on the WhatsApp there. So, so now we're getting pre-releases of the studio quality recordings, which is awesome. Like, that's what, I like that, because rather than him saying, buy the music so you can play it, he's saying, thank you for promoting our music. Here's a free copy.
That's great.
But yeah, and I wish everybody should do that, they have this, this band there called Waterloo, or the band's called Sugar Horse, and they have this new album called Waterloo Teeth. It looks to me like it's a collaboration of either other artists on the Art of Catharsis label or whatever, because every song has a list of different featured artists on this little EP they have. I keep calling it album, but it's an EP. It's a 4-song EP. And I'm seeing different names everywhere. So I'm not sure if it's like these guys in collaboration with Sugar Horse, or if Sugar Horse is just a band that collaborates all the time.
It does say there that underneath the titles, it says the ever mercurial, boundary-pushing UK rock quartet Sugar Horse have announced a thrilling new collaborative EP, Waterloo Teeth. So I guess Sugar Horse is a thing, but they're described as ever mercurial, which to me means that they're always changing their lineup, perhaps. And maybe that's part of the collaboration as well. They have a solid core that changes, but they also have all these different sort of people that they work with. And do you know these names? Are these names like the track we're going to be listening to, Dave Larkin, Will Gardner, and Paul Tierney? Are they? I don't know those names from anywhere, really.
Me either. And then at the bottom there, it does say, like, it's got the 4 people: Ashley Tubb, Jake Healy, Chris Horvath, and Martin Savage as the members of the band. I don't know them either. And I'm just reading now that they're from the UK. I assume they're from Australia, because Art of Catharsis is an Australian label. And most of the musicians are from Australia, as far as I understand. So, which makes me excited, because I like their label a lot, and I would even consider reaching out to them and see if they'd host some Death by Design music as well, like Ipecac. I know I wouldn't get the same kind of exposure as Ipecac could give me, but whatever. I just, the idea that I could get more listeners with Death by Design in their ears would make me excited. So maybe I'll email Lachlan and see if he'd consider it. But yeah, so back to Waterloo Teeth. So that's the name of the EP, and that's the name of the song. I'm guessing the reason they did that is maybe because it's their favorite song on the album. I'm not sure. Now, the one thing about these songs I've noticed immediately, like a lot of songs we present, or like I present anyway, the way the song starts, the way the song ends is completely different. It's one of those, 3-4 minutes into the song, you're going to be like, I did not know we were going here, but okay.
That's what we love. That's what we love.
Exactly. So, so without spoiling too much of it, because I don't want to, because even describing where this goes might push you in a weird direction, but it's definitely progressive, it's definitely psychedelic, and it's definitely different. We'll go with the song Waterloo Teeth off the EP Waterloo Teeth by Sugar Horse, off of the Art of Catharsis label.
Yeah. Oh God. I was waiting for it. I was, you kind of set it up. That this was going to be a journey and going to go somewhere different. So I was like, yeah, I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm ready for it. I wasn't. I brought a huge smile to my face because when the second band came in, because or was it the third band? I'm not sure. When that extra lot came in, it really sort of set me back. That was wonderful. It was really good. It was. I was thinking, you got to treat it as two different things. I think the first part had two. I know I talk about rooms a lot, but it seemed to me it had two sort of sonic spaces, rooms. There was something happening away in the distance with the vocalist and the drums, and everything was away over there. And then there was the chorus. Well, I guess it would be a chorus or something equivalent to a chorus, where it was all brought a lot closer, and there was some drums that were very close, and then it went away back into the distance. And I thought that's interesting. It's an interesting way of doing that, because I'm very interested in the idea of distance in music, or in sound, and that was really interesting. And then it blasts in with the Honey Monster vocals, and I thought, I'm trying desperately to think my way through this. I'm trying to rationalise it as I'm listening to it. Is this both of those sonic spaces brought together and I think it must be both of those sonic spaces brought together with an extra dollop of something else on top, and it's the only thing that was missing was a really scrotum rattling bass. That was the only thing I wished it had. I wished it had that, that kind of thing in it. If I was producing it, that's what I would have done. That was the only thing it missed at that point, and it never really got there. It never really delivered that, and that's fine. That's okay. It's not the track's still brilliant despite that. But yeah, that was extraordinary. And actually, I really liked the way that the gravelly vocals were done. I normally don't like those what I call Honey Monster vocals. It really kind of is the antithesis of music to me. It's like, couldn't you just sing a tune? But in that context, there are contexts where it works. There was some Opeth stuff that you played on your show, which I thought, I can go with that. That's good because it's fitting into something else that's got music round about it, and that was that same thing here. I could get into it. I could enjoy it for what it was. Yeah, that was phenomenal, and it played a little bit of the next track, and that starts off with that sound. So I wonder if I'll maybe go and have a listen to the whole EP. See, the compact disc is $15 Australian, but it probably cost about $30 Australian to get it here, unless they've got a UK outlet. They're a UK band, so I could probably get it from them directly somehow. But
maybe I'll do,
yeah, well worth exploring. Well worth exploring. I'll give that another listen. That was quite extraordinary. Oh dear.
And the thing I like about it too is, for me, both ends of that track aren't music I necessarily would gravitate towards, but in a package with the juxtaposition and the musical intuition that they develop or they portray, it catches me too. Because I'm with you, like if someone's going to be growling or screaming or, as you call, Honey Monster vocals, it's got to have something special to it that keeps me there. Because if they're just screaming for the sake of screaming, I'm not into it at all. Like if they're just like, we play black metal, so I got to go, like, I'm not into it. But Opeth, like I probably mentioned in my show, was the band that sold me on screaming. It wasn't until I heard Blackwater Park, and I went, oh my God, why do they have to do that? But it's so damn beautiful, And then I started watching them progress, from there on into this, like, if you listen to Opeth now, like the newest album sounds like Camel or something, or Caravan. Like, it doesn't sound anything like what you'd come to expect for a Swedish death metal band, which I also dislike a bit too, because I feel like they're, instead of looking forward, they're looking backwards now towards like trying to sound like something they like to listen to rather than being a band that, like, cause for me, Opeth is one of the greatest bands that ever walked the earth. And Mike Ackerfeld, the lead singer and guitar player, chief songwriter, the way he can sing clean vocals and dirty vocals and do such an amazing job on both ends, like Steve Wilson said one time that Mike Ackerfeld vocals, his voice is as good as Burt Bacharach or Tony Bennett or something,
Right.
I'd say Tony Bennett. He's better than Burt. Burt Bacharach wasn't a great singer. He's a good songwriter though, I think.
Yeah, there's quite a few bands that mix it up. There was there's a band that my daughter loves. I think it's Bring Me the Horizon.
Okay, yeah.
Who do that sort of like screaming stuff. It's not the bass screaming. It's the higher up screaming. And I saw them live do that live, and then goes from that and immediately goes into a nice sort of poppy kind of thing. And I'm thinking, your voice should be absolutely in bits at this point, but it's not. They've got a technique that they managed to use. They managed to do it without, sort of shredding themselves. Although I do believe that guy, whose name I can't remember, but I think he did damage his voice. If you're that interested, you can go and look at the YouTube video where you see him or hear him actually damage his voice. His voice, he breaks something in his voice. So it's a dangerous thing to mess with, but it has its place, and I'm glad there's a number of different bands I'm hearing that are giving it a place rather than just making it all about that, because that just cuts me out. Because it's not, to me, I sound like an old man. Well, I'm an old man, but it's the sort of, it's not really musical. It has another effect other than, it's certainly not melodic.
No.
In fact, I've never heard it be melodic. I mean, I suppose you could argue that it could be. But it goes back to what we were talking about earlier about harmonics. I mean, the harmonics that are in that kind of voice are not musical harmonics; they are noisy harmonics, which is is a great effect. But I wouldn't want to live in that world.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That's why screaming should be a tool in the toolbox. It shouldn't be the toolbox. And that's how I feel. And I probably make that argument because that's what I do in Death by Design, right? I'm not shy away from screaming, but the majority of my vocals aren't screamed. Like I usually, the screams happen near the end of the song where I'm trying to show that the song's about to explode and fall off a cliff, right? And I think screaming like that represents that emotion and that feeling very well, So it's not about the lyrics.
You've got more kind of a rock scream, haven't you, rather than a death metal scream? The death metal scream is very guttural and it's.
And it's not because I do have a death metal scream if I want it. Like I can do the Opeth scream, and the kind of stuff, But I find myself as a musician, I don't play the music that begs that kind of a screaming, so I tend to go with the Tool type, kind of scream, Maynard stuff, But I can do both, and I didn't realize it was a desirable ability because not everybody can do that. I thought everybody could do that because I could do it. So when I was in high school, my high school band found that I could scream like that. And they were like, oh, we should cover some metal songs. And they immediately wanted to cover that song by Disturbed called Down with the Sickness.
Right.
Right at the beginning, it goes, go, or something like that. I can't quite do it right now on command. I have to practice it. But they were like, can you do that sound? And I did it into the microphone. And they were like, oh my God. We can do so many different things now. I still rather, because I got something to say a lot of time, I still rather have lyrics that can be understood for the most part. But then I bury those lyrics in the mix because I'm ashamed.
Yes, you do. You're very guilty of that. If I was mixing you, I'd have those treated entirely differently, my friend.
But, yeah, I know. I'm getting there. Like if you compare the Dark Days stuff, to like the Forever stuff, the lyrics are much more audible.
Yeah, I get it. It's not that you can't do that. Plenty of bands do that. You hear it all the time. Where the lyrics are not the main thing, and that's because the production is such that the lyrics don't have to be the main thing. So that's fine. It's not. But for me personally, if there's a voice there, I'm always hearing the voice. That's why the death metal voice kind of upsets me, because it just is. I can't hear anything else. All I can hear is that voice, and it's usually it's mixed really, really loud in the mix, because it's got that kind of demonistic kind of import to it.